second reader is an e-commerce strategist who sometimes writes for obscure trade publications like Multi-Channel Merchant and Integrated Solutions for Retailers. Every once in a while, she tells true stories at live lit shows around Chicago, and once took home the loving cup of deathless fucking glory from the Right Club stage. Yeah. She is currently working on a memoir about growing up with her dad while he was coming of age in the music industry in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Put your hands together for Dayna Bateman. Good height?
You guys see me up here? Is this gonna work? This one's gonna work.
That's all right.
What, is it working? No, it's not
Let's go a
working.
little higher.
Thank you. All right, better?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for coming out, you guys. So it's the season of giving, which means it's the season of direct mail. You're getting crap loads of mail, email, online, also in your mailbox, and they're all asking you for money. I know a guy, he's a direct marketer, he told me one of the biggest tricks that those guys do is to ask you a question for which the answer is yes. If you say yes, if you mark the box, if you stick the sticker, you're halfway home to giving up cash. So this piece was inspired by direct mail. An official survey from the Arbor Day Foundation arrived in the mail. Section 2 is titled About Trees. After first asking my age and education and employment in Section 1, the Arbor Day Foundation would like to know, have you ever climbed a tree? When you were a child, did you ever play under or amongst trees? Did you ever relax in the shade of a tree? They allow for a yes/no reply. They ask me to check a box. There isn't room to tell them how I climbed close to the trunk of that old apple tree beside our back porch. How the branches spiraled like a staircase from my small feet into a pocket of green leaves that hid me from everyone below. How I pulled a sunworm spitter from the branch and chewed its acid flesh down to the seeds, even though they warned me that those apples were no good for eating. There isn't room to tell them they were good for eating after all. There isn't room to tell them about the week that I hid in the woods. When middle school was too much and home was too much, and I hung back on the long walk to the bus stop, and I slipped into the scratchy evergreens. How I crunched the carpet of pine needles and climbed up on the waist-high platform of soft wood that someone had nailed into that stand of Douglas fir. And I read all the books loaded into my backpack that morning. How I ate the peanut butter sandwich on coarse homemade bread my stepmom had wrapped for me in wax paper. How I listened for the bus to return. For the voices of the kids to Doppler past me into the distance before I stepped out of the woods and walked the few feet to home and pretended I'd had a different kind of day. There isn't room enough to tell them for a time the woods were my best friends. There isn't space to tell them how I climbed that mountain. How I climbed that mountain through the shade of the trees. 2 days. After I stood by my dad's hospital bed. And he thrashed like a salmon on spawn, trying to clear the dam that blocked his way. And I said what he taught me to say, what he told me to say, and I said, yes, okay. And the nurse cut the fierce tension of the line, and he sailed over to find his way home, like he said he would. Someday, like he said he would, he told me he would, and he told me not to worry. like he said he would. How I heard the trees say in a voice that sounded like my dad's voice, everything I needed to hear that day. How their roots, their trunks, their mass of gravity held me to the right of the trail when I thought I might tip off into black space. And how I said out loud to the trees, I know, I know, I know, I know. Over and over as I wiped my face dry, and I climbed and I wiped and my face would not stay dry. There's no room to tell them what I know about trees. Have you ever climbed a tree? When you were a child, did you ever play under or among the trees? Did you ever relax in the shade of a tree? Yes, 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 I have.